Hey, did you know that Two Girls Shooting the Shit is on Instagram and Facebook? We'd love to hear your feedback, episode suggestions, or just chat with you about life. So follow, comment, and share.
I interviewed different couples of different mixes or whatever. And one of them was talking about how there's a struggle, and it was a Black woman and a white man.
Mhm.
And there was a struggle about, you love me, but you don't love my culture. You don't know,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like, you see me as the individual, but you don't see what's
Yep.
behind me. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yes. I've
And I
experienced that, I
think,
feel.
yeah, well, I think that's the thing. And it's great to be loved as an individual. I love that. But there's a whole lot more to me, back
Mhm.
here that you need to dig through and get your hands dirty and feel it. I mean, we can, whatever. Hi, Mo, how are you?
Hi, Em. How are you?
So I love that face shit. It's so funny. But I went to Target because I remember we talking about contouring and stuff, and I bought
Mhm.
this.
Cute.
This is how we do. You put your hand behind
This
it.
is how we do
It's
it.
just the cheapo eyes, lips, face, the elf, whatever you call it, thing, but it's as dry. I wanted to get a stick because it
Mhm.
feels like it would blend better if it was wet, but I just wet my brush and use it. And I don't know, I think it's helping.
Yeah, you look adorable. I can't take it.
Thank you.
Adorable. I can't.
Girl, please.
What? I just speak the truth.
The truth. Oh,
The
those earrings, girl.
truth.
You get me with earrings every single time. Let me
Yes.
see. Put
I'm
them
gonna
up.
start
Put them
selling
up.
them.
Where'd you get these? They're so cute.
Girl, I've been getting these at the dollar store, at the hair
Really?
supply, beauty
Oh, okay.
supply.
I was like,
Yeah.
my Dollar Tree don't have
And the
nothing like
Dollar
that.
Tree. Yeah, Dollar
Really?
Tree. Yeah, all those places.
Oh,
I
look at
find them.
you. Spectacles.
Yeah. Trying to see this bullshit.
What are we talking about today, Mo?
Team Swirl.
Swirly
What are we talking
swirl.
about?
I feel like all day yesterday, we chugging. All day
Right?
yesterday, we had all these conversations surrounding race. And I know that's like a played out topic. We talk about race all
Right?
the
I'm so
time
sick of race, but we always talk about some race.
because it's everywhere,
You
right?
can't escape it, unfortunately, unless you're real dumb.
But this is something that I don't want to say it's on trend because it's always happened. Um, but interracial relationships, right?
Mhm.
Just dating, marriage, romantic relationships between the races. What do you want to say about it? What are we gonna,
Girl, I
how do
know
we,
you in one.
girl, I'm a product of one.
Keeping it going.
Yeah, we got to keep the trend going. I don't know.
Yeah. And so I think it becomes where your offspring, any relationship they're in is going to be an interracial relationship. So I think that's pretty cool.
I never thought about it like that. But I mean, I don't know. Everybody, I think by now, hopefully, if they're like alive and paying attention to the world, knows the history. They know about loving. They know about, how it used to be illegal to, a white person to marry a Black person, all
Yeah.
that stuff, right?
Miscegnation.
Right. And we just celebrated what, a little over 50 years from the loving decision.
So
And
I
I
have to
think,
fact check. Oh, you think what?
yeah. Oh, I was just saying, I think that it's become more common. Everybody knows of or sees, and I think it's commonplace. We talk about this on TV, advertising.
Commercials, yeah.
Yes, we're seeing a lot of swirl, especially the less common swirl of a white man and a Black woman.
Yeah, or Asian man and Black woman.
Yeah, I love seeing that. I think it's
Right?
beautiful. I love it. I love it because I feel like those are the two groups that are in that hierarchy we always talk about,
Yeah.
placed at the bottom. Black
Yep.
women and Asian men, are often given, the shit end of the stick.
Yep.
And I think it's beautiful. And then babies are beautiful.
Right?
With the little half
Aw.
Asian and Black babies.
Right? I'm like, why is it's like, is this some kind of promotion? TikTok is based in China, and I know they're overpopulated. I'm just kidding. I'm like, is this some
Hey, they're
kind of
trying to
ploy
make
TikTok? Why you keep showing me this
it's
stuff?
cute. I don't maybe it's are you on our shared account? Because I'd be looking at that in my green tea. Um, I don't know. But I did some research, you know, I got to do some research and take my notes.
Yes.
And the most common interracial marriage, because there's a difference between, and that's something we need to put a pin in for a little bit later, a difference between interracial marriage statistics and interracial dating statistics. Yeah. So the most common mix swirl, everybody knows, is a Caucasian man and an Asian woman. Mm-hmm. That's just the most common. And the reverse, not so common. What else is there? I don't even have my notes in front of me. I'm trying to go off memory.
Hey, if you can do that.
But that's also the most common marriage and relationship. That's the most common. Numbers change as far as marriage is concerned between Black male and white female. High in the relationship part, not so high in the marriage part. And statistics have shown, and I'm getting all this from Wiki, so I could be,
they're more likely to divorce. Right? I saw that
divorce. Yeah, the divorce rates are higher. But overall, and we talked about this yesterday, the majority of marriages for Black women are with Black men, and for Black men are with Black women. And same with all the other races. The majority of people stay within their racial group.
What's the marriage statistics? Because I thought it was like 1 in 4 Black women will get married or something crazy like that.
Oh, I don't know that. I was just looking at who they're married.
So out of that,
whether they're married.
Out of that little group. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question though. I'd be interested to find out.
Right. But yeah, it's crazy, like the commercials, and I wonder about that because you definitely see it out in the street. Like, I think we were talking about like, someone was saying, oh yeah, they're looking at me and they're doing this. Yes, there probably are people doing that, but there also people see patterns. So maybe someone will look twice. It's no offense to you. But have you experienced that?
But people looking at me and my husband?
We are like giving a double take.
I've experienced
that. Or you and your kids.
Oh, don't even get me started on the kids part. Because I've been asked several times, are these your kids? And that's a whole
like that's the dumbest. That's like
conversation.
When they say your hair. It's like the
why else would I be toting around these 3 bags?
Yeah. They like, hey girl, how you get that au pair job? Damn.
But it's always the same people asking whether they're my kids too, which is strange to me. And it's usually an older generation too.
It's almost like they can't believe it.
What are my eyes deceiving me?
Yeah. What the hell, incarnation?
These white babies with this Black woman, this ambiguously Black woman. Right? Yeah, I don't know. I have received looks before in previous interracial relationships I've been in, depending on where I was. In Orange County, I did get looked at a lot. It may be because the dude I was dating, like we just look like an odd pairing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say,
you know what I'm talking
about. Franks and beans.
But yeah, we didn't really look like we fit. But I don't really get that too much. And maybe it's it's been like a decade since that relationship, over a decade. So
over a decade.
I maybe attitudes have changed because my husband and I haven't really experienced that.
And you kind of just go together, you just look like a couple, you just look.
And I'm not even looking at what people doing anyway. Like, okay, I mean,
as long as it's not blatant in your face. Like,
I don't think I've experienced that with my husband. Yeah.
I think I've been paranoid. I've never been in a relationship, but I've dated a lot of people, and they've been all races. I've never dated East Asian. I've dated South Asian, Hispanic, Black. Have I gone out with an African guy? I feel like I went out with an African guy, but he was not Black. Anyway, so all these
tasted the rainbow.
Yeah, Skittles. Skittles. And so they're all the same. I mean, like, to me, I don't see a difference, like in the way people behave. or anything like that. And honestly, I think it was in my head, paranoia. Like, so I would be paranoid going out, and I would feel uncomfortable because of, oh my God, people are going to look at us.
Yeah. Who
And
cares now, right?
Yeah, we had someone on the podcast with a similar sentiment a few weeks ago, and it's like, you just have to live your life. And it's like, I look back, maybe if I weren't so paranoid or something, I could have been more comfortable being myself and show more of myself, so it is pretty interesting. But yeah, the older I got, the more I didn't care. So these are the people talking to me, and so
that's a piece of race too, is and maybe privilege, maybe there is a privilege here in that if you are confronted with race on a daily basis, this is another piece of race that you bring into relationships with you, that you may not bring if you don't have to deal with race all the time, so coming into a relationship, because I know I've done that, I've come into relationships having insecurities about what parts of me will be accepted, what parts do I have to explain, and to be very, very open and honest, there's a very big difference between dating within your race, I think, and dating outside of your race. And we've talked a little bit about this. We talk about Black love. We look at these posts on Instagram and these old couples washing each other's hair and all this stuff, but there is, in my experience, a level of understanding that exists in a same race. And I don't even know same race, black, because I don't know if white people feel this or Asian people, but there is
definitely
certain level of understanding when I've dated Black men, that they understood I didn't have to explain myself.
Exactly. I haven't dated a Black guy.
But even with friends, it's the same thing.
Yeah, with friends, it's the same things. You can just say stuff and you all get it, or just all bust out laughing. It's like you just give a look and it's just like this unsaid thing that I can't describe it. Yeah.
Or just, for example, if we were to be out, say, in a same race relationship out in the street and something happens, and it hits you a certain way, or a slur is said, or something happens, a look, something, and it hits you, you can look to your partner and it's hitting them too,
But, that reminds me of watermelon, it's kind of like we all bonded. We were all different races.
But we had a different thing, and then the third party was like, can I laugh at that? It was just an awkward dynamic, and then it was also like, no, you can't laugh at that.
Exactly. But it's like they were thinking it, but didn't feel comfortable saying it, and meanwhile we were just like, the fuck, like, we couldn't believe it. I still can't believe that. Like, you can't.
She didn't care. Was she older? She probably auntie. She was probably like us. She don't care.
Us now, yeah. So now I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, watermelon season is over. I've gotten 2 bad watermelons. I'm so mad.
I can't with them watermelons anymore. I did too much. It messed with your digestion.
Yeah. Oh, and I like it with salt too.
Ooh, me too. Ooh.
Maybe Whole Foods got something to cut up. Those are usually good.
I don't like getting pre-cut fruit.
Yeah, because it's not the texture is not right.
I need that crisp.
I don't like soggy watermelon.
No,
that's cringe.
That's so disgusting. I like that. It's got a crisp when you bite it. Like
and you got the water flicks in your face.
Yes.
Oh, skis.
Not in your face. It's that texture though, like jicama. I like jicama too, like a snap almost.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, it's such a pain to cut it up and stuff, and then to buy it pre-cut, then you deal with that thing. You might, if you got to eat it all when you first open it. Otherwise, it's just soggy.
And I do. There's no portioning out in this house. That's the problem. Things just get eaten.
That's hilarious.
Well,
but yeah, I was always like, I feel like I would think 10 steps ahead versus living in the present. For instance, if I went out with a lot of Jewish people, and I was like, oh, their families won't accept me, and like, get to the point where you're going to meet the family instead of like canceling yourself out, thinking of all this stuff, thinking of everything that could go wrong.
I feel like that's a common mix too. I feel like there's
Mm.
something with Jewish men and Black women. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
it's a connection. Maybe it's from the biblical times.
Hey, it's a vibe. I don't know. But I see that swirl a lot.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And that's also an interfaith a lot of
Hmm.
times situation.
Yeah.
So, and that's something, I guess, if you think about interracial relationships, that faith may play a part too. And definitely politics. Like there's certain cultural things that are kind of tied to your
Yeah.
race.
Because even intra-racial, like if I married a Nigerian, there's going to be cultural
Okay.
things that are different,
Right,
and
right.
we won't
Well, because
have
they're
that
not
same
from
level of
America. Yeah.
understanding. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's different countries. So
exactly. It's just
yeah.
like family almost, it's just like a broader level of that. Like you're going to know things. Like we were talking earlier about like in the poly episode, how I was trying to articulate like the couple having a one up on the person who's out. And
The
there's a word for
primary
it.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's called couples privilege. And it's that shared understanding and that shared history that they have, where they can like look each other in the eye and just know what they're saying, or
You said
have a
inside
memory in the
jokes, right?
past. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
have look into the past and all of that. And I'm like, what? I had no idea um
I
about
like
that.
I like that we're using the word privilege in
Mhm.
other contexts so that maybe people can start to understand
What it means.
what it means. Yeah. So it's not just white privilege isn't the only
Yeah,
thing that we say is
and
privilege.
wealth.
And
Yeah.
if you see that privilege can present itself in different ways, it doesn't mean you didn't struggle. It doesn't,
Hmm.
it just means there's some sort of benefit or advantage to
Hmm.
the situation that may have no doing of your own, no whatever. So
Yeah,
I like that we're using that word in other contexts. So just want to say.
exactly. That's one thing I have to say. The people I've dated in other races would agree with that 100. Like they
Where do you find them
wouldn't.
at?
These damn apps.
Where are they at? Because I can tell you every white man that I have dated has not been on that page.
Mm-mm. I feel like that's a
Dips my coffee.
baseline. Yeah, I
But
feel
it's
like that's a
not,
baseline.
but how do you get there? At what point do you,
I guess because I was so picky. Like I just would get there in the beginning.
like, excuse me, answer this questionnaire.
Just
Boom,
just
boom,
through your
boom.
conversation, it's just naturally you can tell like how people lean and different things like that. I mean, the conversations I have, I'm not like, what's your favorite color? Fuck that shit.
Here I am like, oh, you like green? Okay, okay, green.
Green. Hey, it worked, girl. Shit.
But I think there's in some of the articles, I sent you an article too, or I put it in the research for this episode or whatever. There was an article about a couple. They interviewed different couples of different mixes or whatever. And one of them was talking about how there's a struggle, and it was a Black woman and a white man.
Mhm.
And there was a struggle about, you love me, but you don't love my culture. You don't know,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like you see me as the individual, but you don't see what's
Yep.
behind me. You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yes. I've
And I
experienced that, I
think,
feel.
yeah, well, I think that's the thing. And it's great to be loved as an individual. I love that. But there's a whole lot more to me, back
Mm.
here that you need to dig through and get your hands dirty and feel it.
How
And
far is too
understand it.
far though? Because I feel like some people co-opt. So I feel like I've gone out on dates with people who are like co-opting Black culture, or like,
I don't like that.
yeah. So it seemed almost fake, and so
Performative. You like to
yeah,
say
it's
that
like,
word, performative. Yeah.
but then some of them you get some good music from. I mean, I was like, I was like Tarika Blue. I didn't even know who that was. I thought Erica Badu had that beat. See, learn something new every day.
Shoot. I don't know, but I think there is, and maybe that's part of the privilege talk too,
Remember?
but
Oh
there
my
is
God.
something.
Carol's daughter. Remember Carol's daughter?
Yes.
I was dating this Jewish guy, and he brought me this Carol's daughter, and I was not into like boutique-y stuff. I was a Target, Kmart
That's the
girl.
jam. Mhm.
Yeah. So, I mean, which is funny because I think, no, it's not yet. I was going to say, I think it is in those stores now, but it's not.
Carol's daughter is in Target.
Oh, it is. I thought so.
And I think
Okay.
I've seen it in Walmart too. Not like all the things. It's
Yeah.
even, I've even seen it at Costco.
Yeah. So back in the
Yeah.
day, it was more boutique. You had to buy it
Mm-hmm.
online or in her own branded stores.
Yeah.
And I got it, and I remember I don't know if I knew you at the time yet, but I didn't know what it was. It's all these hair butters and hair creams. I'm like, we
Mm-hmm.
put grease, like I didn't
Yeah.
know grease and like
Grease the
leave-in, like
scalp and stuff. Yeah.
right, yeah. Like I didn't know about hair products, so he taught me about black hair care, and that's because he only dated black people. So I feel like, is that a preference or is a fetish?
See, that's my thing too, is when you're like, I have every white person I have dated has never dated a black person before.
I've had
So
a
I
mix.
am their experience or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that changes or alters what I just said about them not having understood my background or accepting that, because I'm the first step into this arena for them. If I don't know how it would feel if I dated somebody who only dated black women. But then again, as I've almost,
what are you looking for?
But I've almost exclusively dated white men.
Yeah,
I mean, I've had
girl,
two,
let me see the same.
So what does that say? Like,
but I talk to guys who talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Except not people, like not that. But if you talk to me in
who's doing that to you? Wait a minute.
Like the street, the street harassment and stuff.
Cat calls.
Yeah. But when I lived in LA, Jewish men were talking to me.
Worked,
it's like,
or were. Yeah.
And so it's like, these are the people talking to me. Like,
who are you trying to talk to though? Let's
talking to everybody.
Around. No, but let's flip that around though. They're coming at you and you're like, okay, I could receive that. But if you were in charge, like all the men were just sitting on a bench and you could pick and choose and do whatever you want.
It would have been some,
DWB,
some 90210, or like some really cute guy who, of any race, just like
the feel, the vibe. That's what
really cute guy, like with the 6-pack.
Things that don't even matter anymore. Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
That was God looking out. Well, never mind. I was like, I did actually meet one, but that was definitely not a date.
Oh Lord. I'm scared to find out more about that. I probably know already.
Oh, know. Remember the little cute surfer I showed you? Because I was so proud. I was like,
did you go to C&O? Why am I thinking C&O is a restaurant that you went to with this person?
If I did,
Cheese and Olives or whatever that restaurant's called.
Oh, that was good. Them garlic nuts. Oh,
I've never been there.
I think it still exists, but I love those garlic nuts. I don't know if they can do them vegan. But... Dang,
I love me bread. Oh, yeah. I love me some bread.
Oh, but yeah, it would just be like that kind of like Will Smith co-ed guy, or the Ashton Kutcher. There's actually, Ashton Kutcher was my crush, like during that time. And so, yeah, it was just like,
did you like Keanu Reeves for a minute? Like that?
Yeah, but
that
they all
vibe.
had a look. Yeah, it was like Keanu Reeves. I don't even remember the guy, Incubus guy. John Cusack, and it's like this all brunette, kind of scraggly looking guy. And then, oh wait, hold on.
There Mo goes again. Left me all alone. Oh, I'm scared. Ooh, you're wearing the shirt. You're wearing the shirt. Love it. You're wearing the shirt.
Yes, girl. Yes.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, why do I like these scraggly ass dudes?
You look like Jesus. You better stop it. Stop it.
This was on the living room table. On that table. This was on.
So you like Jesus men. Table. You like men who look like Jesus.
Right?
Scraggly. You call Jesus scraggly. Oh man.
But that made me laugh. And like Chris Cornell, I used to R.I.P. I used to love me some Chris Cornell. Who is also Jewish. Like what the hell?
Maybe that's your thing.
But you know who else was?
Jesus. Oh Lord, Jesus was a Jew. It's that indoctrination.
Yeah, that's what I
That,
wonder sometimes. I'm like, looking at that image all the time and thinking Jesus was a savior. Maybe was I waiting for a white savior?
oh my goodness.
You gotta
There's
go down
been
the
some
rabbit
stuff
hole.
I've seen online talking about how that, I mean, can we all acknowledge that that is not what Jesus looked like? If Jesus was
Yeah.
walking the earth at whatever time, he did not look like that. And they were saying that's Michelangelo's gay lover or something.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, but I didn't, reality
I don't
shifts
know where this
whenever,
stuff.
yeah, I don't know what's real and what's not. So I just ignored that. I didn't do any fact checking or anything.
I love it.
But I would agree. I mean, I would believe it.
One of the
Be cute.
so I've had 2 Black boyfriends in my life, and they were both around my college years. And I went to one of their houses for Thanksgiving while we were dating, and there was a very Christian household. The whole family was over, and they had a huge picture of Black Jesus in their house.
Yes.
And I was like, this is interesting. It was a whole new thing for me. I was like, okay. But it's just interesting. I don't know, just the way people envision him and what they choose to accept.
Yeah, like they accept dogs at the Last Supper, but if you had a Black Last Supper, they probably would find that offensive.
You said dogs.
Yeah, you never saw that back in the day in the 80s? Oh my God, I gotta show you. Dogs
at the Last Supper.
Yeah, Google that.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's a lot of, this is turning into religion, but there's a lot of things like they refuse to accept that, there's some people who say that the person on Jesus' side was Mary Magdalene. It wasn't one of, like that a woman would be there.
Yeah.
I saw something, and I'm obsessed with TikTok now, and I'm like upset with myself for this. But there was this this video where this girl was like, why are you lying about your body count? Like how many people? And it was like
insecurity.
Mama said that it was okay. You know that song? Mama said that it would be, and it was all and it was all images of Mary, and it was implying that she cheated on Joseph. That's how she got pregnant. Now she made up this whole story, and everybody's following this story because she didn't want to get caught, whatever. And I was like, dang. But I'd never thought, that never crossed my mind. And I'm like, damn, people really going in.
It's a way of control, because you think about it, how is your unfathomable story more acceptable than mine? And then we're all fighting for the other one to believe. If you believe it so much, why are you fighting for the other to believe? So I don't know. Religion. I don't even, but like the indoctrination of seeing this handsome, scraggly
handsome white man.
He had a little
long
tan,
hair.
they got a little flavor, but
yeah.
But I'm also an awkward Black girl, and so I don't feel like I was ever attractive to Black men, just because I'm a flat butt, awkward Black girl, and so
are you saying Black men only want a butt?
I mean, I don't know what they want, but you got a nice one.
What you saying?
You got a nice one, baby.
It's just because everything else got bigger, so the butt got bigger. Like when everything else was smaller, there was no booty there either. So
you had a nice little booty. Remember back in the day?
Look at you talking about my butt. Why are you always talking about my booty?
Because we were talking about, do Black men like booty? Dang, I forgot what I was talking about.
Well, okay, I'm gonna bring it back to interracial dating.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
Some of it hits me off. Like it doesn't feel right.
Makes you feel,
there is, I think, and this isn't true for everybody, so like don't come at me or whatever if this is your scenario, but I think there is a lot of fetishization. Is that?
Agree.
Especially surrounding Asian women. Whenever I see a white man with an Asian woman, and I know a lot of this this pairing. I have it in my family, on my Filipino side. I've got an aunt married to a white man. I've got several cousins. I am.
Do you think that influenced you?
No. But I've got friends also who, and the friends that I'm looking at, the males are into like manga and, the culture. It's almost as if they're into the culture. So that like Devin,
the comic books and anime.
Devin
and all
from
shit.
90 Day Fiance.
Yep, it's fetishization.
Right?
Yeah,
right. So it's the culture, and
For the culture.
it just
For the
feels funky.
culture.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's funny. I think we talked about this before, but a few of the guys I dated did have that kind of fetish. Like, I don't
For
know if it
Black
was a
women?
fetish for Asian. And so I'm like, I
Oh,
never understood why they were
like, what are you
talking to
doing
me.
me?
Like, I'm the complete, maybe they were trying to break it. But they would love to talk about Tokyo and how they went to Tokyo, and they would have all
Which
these
is
books
great.
on
Right.
Japan and everything. One of them did marry an Asian woman, so he did go
Mhm.
back to what he wanted. And I'm like, I thought it, I think it's pretty cool to be open-minded, but it is pretty interesting that they like go after this just because of like you like
The culture.
the culture, So maybe they want to be a part of the culture.
Yeah, I mean that's the same thing too. You see a lot of the white men who have, they got that swagger to them. I don't
I
know to
hate that. Oh
explain
my
it.
God, like those
Uh,
twins. Ugh.
what twins?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I mean, I'll have to look them
No,
up
but
while
they,
you're talking.
they're little on the Bubba Sparks train. I don't know who
Yes,
the
those
new
twins.
cool,
Yeah.
they wear their pants low. They got, gold fronts or whatever, they have that
Yep.
vibe, and
Disgusting.
they only date Black women, right? But
Yeah.
it sits funky with me when you're trying to, I don't know, something about taking the whole culture in, which is great, but it seems like then your woman that you are choosing is just another piece of the culture that you're trying to include
Yeah,
into
you
your
don't, you
life.
just want a puzzle. You just want to fit someone in this puzzle that you
Mm-hmm.
have. And I think that's something that bothered me as a kid, as a military brat, is, sometimes I would go to people's houses and their mom was almost like, just like cleaning up, like, I mean, that's what moms are supposed to do. My mom did that too.
Dang, mom's just supposed to clean up. Okay.
I mean, my mom did that too, but it's just like they didn't have a life. They weren't allowed to really have friends. So they tended to other, like, why was I over there? I don't
Dang.
know. Like, why was I at their house?
Why was I over there? I
Even though so many questions.
don't know.
But it's just like you're just doing what, like serving your husband hand and foot and the kids hand and foot. Like, damn, sis, you get any time to yourself. So some people like that. It's like a free all
That's
for
like
one.
married life, though.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't think that has anything to do with race. That's just what it be like
Nah.
when you stay at home. Was she I think a lot of military wives
Yeah.
tend to be stay at home moms. They're younger, and it's hard to
Yeah.
keep a job if your husband is you're being moved a lot.
Yeah. My mom, I mean, she did all that stuff, but she also had a social group, she sold Tupperware or something, like she
Hey,
she felt like a liberated woman, she didn't feel
okay.
like she couldn't go out, with other people.
It can be isolating. I think it's a personality thing.
Yeah. Especially if there's a
Because
language barrier.
if you're outgoing, you'll find a way to socialize and stuff. But I mean, if you're an introverted person and you find yourself at home, from my experience, it's very difficult. So you do feel kind of trapped to the house. It's hard
Yeah.
to find your people, your tribe.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
But I'm like, she had to be friends with my extroverted mom because
Why
was
would
I
you be at
there?
her house? Because you just walked on over. You were chasing rainbows and running all over the place when you were
Right.
a
And that's
kid,
just
right?
one friend, but I had so many. But yeah. And I
Excuse
saw
me?
a
I have
variety.
so many friends.
Well, just looking back, like people's parents were German, they were Korean, Philippine, Guamanian. I don't know what it is, but yeah, like
That sounds right.
Belizean. I don't know how they say it, but yeah, all of that stuff. Like, so that's why I think that was the best education I could have gotten, was to be raised in the military, because while it's stifling on some levels, like on the multicultural aspect, that's a free education. Now, I'm not storming the Capitol or, thinking that some weird stuff about other people, because I'm so used to seeing,
Because you've been around them.
and it's not like in the big cities. That was always something that I didn't sit right with me, because it looks like all these people, but then when you go to restaurants and everything, everybody's in their own group and it's not as diverse. You might see a little sprinkle, but it's not as diverse as you would think. And so
Yeah.
I love that, like just being able to go to someone's house and eat their food, especially, and just hear the smells.
Culture.
Yeah, like the culture. But I wasn't like, oh, I want to marry you.
But that does impact, doesn't that impact? Like, I mean, growing up, I grew up mostly around Hispanic and white people. That's just, I went to Catholic school. The schools were majority white or Hispanic or half white and Hispanic. You know, there were a handful of, you know, Filipinos and whatever, because it's Catholic school. So there's going to be Filipinos there. But I think you are limited. This is what interests me. You are limited to what your worldview is, right? Like if you've, but then there's also the outliers of people who are like, I want that. I've never seen that before. That's what I want, you know? So I wonder what informs your attraction or
I wonder that too.
What is the other word? What's the opposite of attraction?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, words are failing me, but it informs whether you're attracted to someone or whether you're not. Like if
repulsion.
You've never been, repulsion. Yeah, I mean, because I think that there is that. I mean, I'm sure there are people in the same article that I was talking about earlier, dating apps, and they're showing that Black women don't get the same amount of interaction as white women do, and when they do, and you've like explained this beautifully in our relationship dating apps episode, but when people approach Black women on an app, it's always as a Jezebel, oversexed, whatever, and quotes, I'm saying this. And there was even an example, which was interesting to me. Maybe I'll put this article in the description for the episode, but there was a gay couple, and this one, the Black one man was Black, one man was white. And he was saying that every time that he would be, send a message or whatever on the app, it would be, ooh, I want your big Black whatever. And he's like, I have never once said, I want your big white whatever. Like, why is that? Why
objectifying?
What is that? You know? And so there's always a race component to everything. And then in the dating apps, it's just amplified, is what the article was trying to get to. But I don't know.
But that's also something interesting, because people make it sound like, oh, especially bigger Black women, oh, you're so undesirable and everything. But why is everybody husband trying to holler on these apps? So it's like, is it because they think it's a low-hanging fruit? Because they want
sex. They also think that Black women are oversexed. So they're thinking, I can get it from her.
But why would you want it from, I guess they don't care. Because it's like, why would you want it from somebody you're not attracted to?
I don't think men care.
Yeah, they just need to release, I guess. Not their wife. Like, it's like, no thanks.
Or maybe their wife is boring and they're just trying to, you know. I still think there's a piece of people who don't understand that the internet or apps are real life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they think it's like you can go and play and be silly, but I don't know how many
they have a fake self.
I don't know how many of these men are actually meeting up with the Tinder dates or meeting up with, maybe they're just out there trying to see if they could talk to me and get themselves riled up.
This guy was telling me about how he was divorced and and he was working on it and all this stuff. And then he's like,
and she cheated on him. And
that was another guy.
Dang.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, he's trying to get himself back out there and everything, but he's so horny. And so he's really looking for some help with that. I'm like, I'm
not here to help you. I'm not here to service you.
Like, you don't even know me. And I understand, like, ultimately that's a lot of people's ultimate goal, but that's just humanity. Like, be honest in what you're looking for, because I guarantee you the new generation will do whatever you want and put it wherever you want it to go, you know? So don't waste my time.
That's an example of a bigger problem, I think. With and this is just turning into a dating episode, but like I think that a lot of men view women, whether they know that they're doing this or not, as a vessel. Like, there is so much more to sex or physical relationships than just getting, you know? And so it's kind of like, are we doing all the other things that need to be done before we can get to the physical intimacy part? And they think they can get on an app and be like, yo, I have an affliction. I need to release. Can you do this for me?
Right? Like,
we're not here to service.
Yeah.
I'm not, this isn't my, I wasn't put here on earth to service you.
Right? That's an energy exchange. Like, I couldn't do it. Even if it were legal and I could go out there and make a bunch of money, servicing people.
Hey,
Who cares? Because they're on these apps getting it for free because they ask, they shoot that out to 20 girls. I bet you at least two are going to say, yeah, come through.
but how is
In
that
every way.
how is that an acceptable thing to even put out there? I mean, there are women who need to get it, but we're not out there looking like, who can service me? I mean, you were talking about a handyman the other day, but I mean, but I don't know. It just seems it's
like people aren't people. We kind of all end up there.
It's transactional.
Like we're talking about even poly and all that stuff. Like, yeah, transactional. Like missing the soul of the person, the essence of the person has nothing to do with, I want this outcome and you are a means to that outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And that fulfillment.
So give it to me.
Yeah.
What happened to the days of let me buy you dinner for, I mean, we knew where that was going.
Yeah.
But at least you're gonna buy me dinner.
The dance. Yeah, people just got over the BS. Maybe that's evolution. We're not sniffing butts anymore. We're not buying dinner and drinks anymore. I mean, they still do.
Except now it's a 15-minute coffee date instead of a drawn out, like, take me to the Red Lobster or something.
I had a dinner date the other day and it was an okay date. But yeah, it's just like, that's another thing with interracial for me. It's that I think that I do feel, except with a couple people who were just, not that Bubba Sparks level, but like a little tipping too much up. Like they were just honorary Black, I guess.
Does it feel genuine? Does it feel like that's who they are? Or does it feel like they're trying to... Because
you can do the inside joke stuff, or talk about all that kind of stuff and they get the joke. And so it's like, you must be, you're at the cookout, you at the cookout.
Right.
Like,
right. Well, I mean, depending on where they grew up too. I mean, they may just be fam. You know what I mean?
I'll be dating them. They ain't grow up with nobody Black. Watching TV.
Watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Watching TV. Old reruns of 227 and Good Time.
Oh, right. I mean, so did I. So I forgot my point. Sorry.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, the unsaid, like not having to explain yourself and not having to worry about accidentally
feeling comfortable.
Someone. Yeah, just being yourself. And like I feel like I am myself, which is why I'm single, because I try to make it a point.
Stop.
It's like I gotta be me.
I gotta be done. I don't know what song that is.
Gotta be, I think. Or something.
Okay. Probably. I don't know. I mean, this is our experience because we have dated. I married interracially. So
people always, including you, everybody they always ask me, are you even attracted to Black guys? Yes, I'm fucking human. Of course I'm attracted to Black guys. It's just that probably because I'm so awkward and like the level of awkwardness, the awkward Black guys have been so hurt or just rejected by Black women that they don't even try. So like try to date other Black women. So like I know on the apps, whenever I see a little awkward Black guy, I'm like, yeah. I never hear
I see you. You're like, I see you.
Right.
I am you.
But that shared understanding or whatever that we were talking about. Oh, where was I going with this? Awkward Black guy, conservative. Yes. Okay. First thing, a lot of Black men are conservative. And I don't mean Republican. I just mean like kind of old fashioned, kind of, even if they're like a freak, they still have this kind of like old, and then of course I'm generalizing. Gosh, this is not everyone. God. Can't even have a conversation these days,
without putting a little disclaimer on it.
So I'm a little too awkward for that kind of like super conservative type.
Explain the conservative part, like religious or old school values.
Yeah, just like Christian, usually Christian, obviously not practicing, doesn't go to church or anything like that. But just like homophobia is a big thing that I've seen in a lot of Black men that I don't like. Not obviously not all Black men. Leaning a little to the right on issues. And even though like fiscally they're maybe liberal or something like that.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's just like we just don't click. So I end up dating kind of like left leaning or moderate non-black people.
Right.
Because the guy who the Trump guy was Hispanic. He wasn't even I don't know what, he was like beyond that. He could have been black. But yeah, he was a Trump supporter. So I date them all. I'm equal opportunity. I practice what I preach. Shoot.
Okay.
But yeah, that sounds kind of bad. I don't want to say like, oh, I'm only taking what I get. But it's like I have discretion in, the people who are talking. I'm not talking to everyone who talks to me, but
right.
The people who come at me with that banter and the conversations that I want to have are mostly not black. So that's just what it is.
Do you find that that's a representation of what's on the apps? Are they, is it just like the world, like it's mostly white people on there?
I think that is, but I don't know. There's an app called Black, and I joined that too.
Black? Just straight up black?
Yeah. And nobody talked to me. And then
is it all black people, or are there?
Yeah. If they got the scragglers coming through. But yeah, it's designed for black dating other blacks. And I don't know how they define that.
That's another episode.
Yeah. But then, like, if I did get a message, it would be like GM HYD.
Don't be lazy.
Lazy. So it's like the quality of black guy that I would want, like Kevin Samuel says, that's too high value, I guess. So that's out of my league. Like, forget that. I don't want to have to teach you speak and spell, like I'm grown.
Speak and spell. Oh my goodness. I don't even know. We've talked about this. I don't know how people meet. Like, how do
apps?
And ain't nobody going to work anymore, so it's not like you're like out at work. I mean,
I don't know how people meet, but I also don't want to go outside. So I'm willing to
you keep inviting the handyman over to fix your house.
Right. Someone told me to
the
go
right
on
one
Twitch,
comes.
so I may be starting a Twitch channel. It's a live gaming platform. So it's like a game, you can stream games and stuff like that and interact with the audience.
Looking for a gamer?
Yeah, meet some gamers and just socialize. I don't know how to play games, but
okay, could be a new thing for you.
Yeah, I always try to think outside of the box.
Oh, girl, I don't even know. I think the dream would just be not to have to explain myself anymore. That's the dream.
That's if you can't explain it about one thing, you're gonna have to explain it about another.
I know, but that's what I'm just saying. Like, I don't know.
What's the last thing you had to explain to your husband? Like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. These guys, if I talk about the kitchen, they know what I'm talking about. Like,
oh no,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what black girl trained them, but thanks, sis. The couple of guys, like most of them were aloof. Be like, let's get the kitchen sink.
See, none of that stuff. Because to my knowledge and understanding, I am the first black woman he has ever dated, or married, obviously married, whatever. But I don't think he doesn't know any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. But he's also young, so.
I mean, yeah, he can't be young forever. He's in his 30s.
But time passes, so things change in
he's
time.
younger than me, but he's not young,
He's on a different, thing, like stuff that happened in the 80s and 90s is not going to be in his mind. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, but like just like cultural references and
that's what I mean. Like shows, he gonna go on Hulu, like Netflix. Like I'm trying, like the pop culture of things. He wouldn't know.
I don't think he's a pop culture kind of guy. He can tell you. He can tell you the history. He can tell you facts and years that things happened. He can tell you that type of stuff, but he can't tie in the emotional movements of things or the impacts of things. He'll just tell you what has happened. So he knows history. He knows about Black history, but there's more to just facts and history. And that's been my experience not just with, I don't want it to be like I'm talking about my husband, but
Yeah.
you know, with everybody. So I mean, we do have conversations about it, which is great, like to be able to have these conversations. They get heated, but but we have conversations because we have to.
That
We have
sounds
to have these
fun.
conversations.
That sounds fun, actually.
You've been around for some of this. I remember in DC having some stuff. We got into some stuff, you know, but
You be getting swole though. How you what kind of hard like? I mean,
I
that was
get passionate about things.
Yeah.
He's a very patient, loving man. That's all I can say. He's very patient. Whatever.
But people are people, and I think that's the thing. Like, you're always going to have something different. You're always going to, men aren't women, women aren't men, women aren't other women, men are, nobody is you. And so it's like, you're always going to have some misunderstanding or some moment of learning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just life. Like, why do we care? Like, if somebody loves you and cares about you, who cares? I don't care their gender, anything.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
if they,
I feel that.
if you have that connection, who cares? And it's sad that this still has to be a conversation because everything is about division,
Mm-hmm.
division. And we talked about this, how we're seeing more of this Black women like responding to the Kevin Samuels and stuff. Now it's almost like a civil war of Black people. And it's like, that's the last thing I want to see. That's why I follow stuff like Black Love Page and stuff like that. I want to see love.
Yeah.
Of Black people loving each other, not fighting and one-upping each other and all this BS they try to feed you. And telling them they're not high value and bring nothing to the table, you know.
That table. I'm tired of this table. Right? We got to bring stuff to the table.
I feel like Teresa Giudice with this damn table.
Flip the table.
Right? Flip that motherfucking table.
I don't know. All I as far as the topic of interracial dating, interracial marriage goes, like, if you can find love,
different. Yeah.
But if you can find love, find love. But I think there's a problem if you are looking for a specific thing to fit your aesthetic that you're trying to create in your life. That's not the way to do it. And I also think that it's important for people, and I want to say white people, but it's everybody needs to do this. But I'm talking to you, white people. When you are dating a person of color or dating somebody outside of your race, and you genuinely love that person, you need to look behind them and get everything, every bit of that person, because their identity is informed by what's happened before them. Their identity is informed by what's happening around them. Even if you don't see it, even if you don't understand it, it's part of the person you love. So you have to be open to having conversations and getting to know what that is. Otherwise, you don't really love that person.
Exactly. You know? And that's even if it's in your same race, because your family is going to be different. You're going to have different upbringing. Right. So it's how much do you actually want to get to know someone, or how much do you just want to check a box and fill in the blanks? And I think a lot of people want to fill in the blanks. And I think this external validation bullshit is why we are still talking about stuff like this. Because if you don't have to worry about other people, then what is it? It's just the two of you. And that's what it should be anyway.
Right.
But it's so all these external factors, well, if I'm with this person, then I might not get this account because that's not a good look. But other people aren't thinking like that, you know, like Hugh Jackman, he's F you, you know what I'm saying? Like these, you know what I'm saying? Like people were trying to drag his wife, even Denzel Washington. And there was a quote, I don't know if that was really him, but it said, you know, I wanted to marry somebody with values and not a body. A body doesn't raise kids or something like that. And I was like, you know, that's facts.
Mm-hmm. Another thing too is, just because you have entered into a relationship with somebody outside of your race doesn't mean you understand that race.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean that you automatically get a pass on things, that you can say stuff, or that hey, I'm not racist, I married an Asian woman. Hey, I'm not racist, I married a Black man. Like you can't use your significant other as a shield from your privilege and issues that you need to deal with either. And I think that's something that obviously comes up with interracial marriages and dating, whereas you don't have to work. You can't use your same race as a shield, you know, from your behavior or misunderstanding. So I think those are two things for me that I think are important if people are going to be interracial dating or interracial marriage, is to take the whole history of that person and their family and their culture and everything, because that's loving the whole person and also not using them as your get out of jail free card when you've messed up. So yeah, that's
Guess
all I
that's
got to
it.
say about that.
All right, girl. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay,
Love
me
you.
too. I love you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh my God, I gotta go.